Hey guys, Mr. Stewart here. You are here for Mr. Stewart's revision. Let's get it started. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be looking at helping the people from 1000 BC to present day medicine, AQA history. We're going to try and squeeze everything into 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we're going to put everything into one video. I will be making 5-minute videos on all of the subtopics, but we're going to squeeze everything in one 5-minute video. Crash course of helping the people. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Alright, so here we go. We've got our timer. It's currently set on 0. Let's put it to 5 minutes. And let's go. Helping the people in 5 minutes. Boom! Okay, so early years of helping the people. Hippocrates believed in the 4 humours and he believed in observing patients. 4 humours were black bile, yellow bile, phlegm, and blood. Aristotle similarly believed in careful observation and suggested that the heart provided heat for the body and that the brain cooled the body down. Herbal remedies at this time were very important, an example of which would be honey and wine for washing the wounds. Greek surgeons also broke bones to carry out amputations. In Roman times, Galen also believed in the 4 humours because he studied Hippocrates. He furthered the 4 humour idea into something called the theory of opposites. This would mean you'd eat hot food in the winter and cold food in the summer. The brain controlled the body. That's what he believed, and he also believed the left kidney was higher than the right. He believed the jaw was made of 2 bones, and he believed that blood flowed through the heart and was continuously being produced by the body. He mainly dissected animals such as pigs, and that's why his techniques were wrong. At this time there was superb public health. The Romans were fantastic at this. They had aqueducts, fresh water, reservoirs, baths, sewers, and also latrines. Private houses of the wealthy had the downstairs and also had fresh water and sewers. It was a fantastic time to live in the towns and the cities. This all disappeared during the medieval times, mainly because they didn't have the technicians to maintain them. Arabic medicine. They believed in disease was caused by evil spirits, similar to medieval times, and they also followed the 4 humours, just like what Galen and Hippocrates believed in. The Arab surgeons were skilled in amputations and dentistry. They could set fractures and they took medical exams. Their doctors examined urine and prescribed drugs. An example of the doctors at the time are Raziz, Abulcasis, and Avicenna. Okay, they are the drugs that would have been prescribed. Now, Arab doctors also encouraged care for the sick as part of their religion. Hospitals were built for wounded and eye patients and those that had fever. Example of major cities that had these hospitals were Baghdad and Cairo. Right, let's move on to the Renaissance. Medicine got worse due to the Black Death and lack of understanding, and basically people continued to follow Galen's ideas because the monasteries had control of Europe and they believed in Galen because Galen met up with their ideas of God. Public health got worse. Open sewers in towns, cesspits built near wells, waste thrown onto the streets, food poor and was always left out in the, to hang and to dry. Barber surgeons performed operations as well as cutting hair, extracting teeth and bloodletting. Some surgeons could mend broken bones or remove cataracts from eyes. Surgery was very primitive at this time. Herbal remedies included using onion, garlic and bull's gall for eye treatments. Mothers or wise women were very important. They were seen as the local midwives. Evidence of good health was provided by Canterbury Cathedral. Again, it's the cathedrals where public health improved. Renaissance. This is when they had the breakup of the church and people going against the church, going against the idea that Galen was correct. Andreas Vesalius publicly dissected the body and he proved Galen wrong by proving the jawbone was not made of two bones, proving that the kidneys were in line, proving that blood flowed through the heart, and he wrote this all up in something known as the fabric of the human body. Ambrose Paré made up a new lotion of egg yolk, oil and roses and turpentine to treat injuries, also introduced ligatures to stem the flow of blood. He wrote a book known as Works of Surgery. William Harvey proved blood flowed around the body and carried away from the heart by arteries and returned by the veins. Early modern medicine. Edward Jenner introduced cowpox vaccine for smallpox. Despite opposition from the government, the plague continued to wreak havoc during this time. And a man called John Hunter developed better scientific approach for surgery, expert teeth and gunshot wounds and renal diseases. He was a brilliant surgeon and was able to remove facial tumours without anaesthetics and cutting facial nerves. 30 seconds. New anaesthetics in industrial times were created, such as laughing gas by Humphrey Davy, ether by John Warren, chloroform by James Young Simpson, and they were all introduced into operations. Lister's carbolic spray led to aesthetic surgery, which means germ-free. Let's add an extra minute because I'm running out of time. Boom, 1 minute 33 added on. Thank you. We're still in industrial era. Public health remained poor at this time. Back-to-back housing and poor conditions meant many diseases were spread very easily. A report at this time was created by Edwin Chadwick, who stressed the need for better sanitary conditions in 1842. The government was reluctant to help the poor and the needy due to laissez-faire, which means they do not get involved. 1848 Public Health Act was put into place due to Edwin Chadwick's pressure. This was not compulsory support given to the public. Only in 1875, Public Health Act, councils were ordered to provide sewage facilities, clean water and appoint a medical officer. This was compulsory. John Snow at this time recognised Broad Street water pump was causing cholera. He recognised that disease was spread through dirty water. In 1858 was known as the Great Stink. A man called Joseph Bazzagetti was appointed as chief engineer for the London sewer system. He built 13,000 miles of sewers, and this became known the blueprint for major cities in Europe. Seaborn Rowntree and Charles Booth sponsored major investigations into the extent and causes of poverty in British cities and made the government act with liberal reforms. In 1861, Louis Pasteur published his germ theory after looking into why wine went off. He also produced a new vaccination for cholera, anthrax and rabies. Let's add one more minute. Robert Koch built on his work and identified the microbes for anthrax, tuberculosis, septicemia and cholera by staining germs. So we are now going to move straight into the modern era of medicine. Antibiotics, magic bullets were discovered to isolate and kill bacteria inside the body. Paul Ehrlich discovers cure for syphilis. Hospitals become germ-free and equipment sterilised. Blood transfusions are carried out. Mass vaccination campaigns help prevent smallpox, mumps, measles, rubella, tuberculosis. During World War I, surgery improved. These included development in techniques to repair broken bones and to perform skin grafts. X-rays were discovered before the war by Wilhelm Röntgen. During the war, they were used to find bullets and shrapnel lodged in the body. The governments paid for more and more X-ray machines to be made. Blood transfusions were used effectively for the first time. Alright, 30 more seconds, please, 30 more seconds. And 1900, methods of storing blood and transporting it were removed. In 1911, the Liberal government under Lloyd George passed the National Insurance Act. Workers could get medical help and sick pay. They also introduced free school meals in 1906, old age pensions in 1908, free medical inspections in 1907, labour exchanges in 1909, and the National Insurance Act 1911 that helped public health. Penicillin, discovered by Alexander Fleming, developed by Harold Florey and Ernest Chain during World War II to treat casualties of the D-Day landings. In 1948, the government introduced the NHS, which provided free healthcare for everyone. In 1953, I've run out of time. Two scientists in Cambridge, Francis Crick and James Watson, discovered the structure of DNA. Gene therapy used genes from healthy people to kill the sick, which are known as stem cells. For example, regrown cells to restore movement to paralysis or blindness. Last two, 1967, Dr. Christian Bernard successfully carries out the first heart transplant due to the improvements in surgery. Recent outbreaks of E. coli and food poisoning show the need for government intervention and control of health. Cures for AIDS and certain types of cancer are still ongoing. I'm Mr. Stewart. That was Medicine Through Time in 5 minutes. Wasn't 5 minutes, but next time your video will be 5 minutes. Peace.